All right, let's just jump right into this week's explainer. Because what's happening in the world of AI video, literally right now, is a full-blown revolution. And look, I'm not just being dramatic here. That's a direct quote from our source material, and it perfectly nails the feeling of this moment. We've got these huge new tools that just landed, and they're about to change everything for creators. I mean, we are talking about a complete shakeup of who even gets to be a video creator. That wall, that barrier to entry, it just came crashing down. And it's all because of these incredibly powerful new tools that are hitting the scene as we speak.
Okay, so first up is Google Flow. And you gotta understand, this is not just another text-to-video toy. No way. Think of it more like a full-on, AI-powered movie studio that just lives in your web browser. The whole idea is it can take you from just a spark of an idea all the way to a final, polished film.
So what's actually powering this thing? Well, under the hood, Flow is running on Google's latest and greatest models, Veo 3 for the video part and Imagen 4 for images. But it does so much more. It makes its own audio, it helps you with the editing process, it keeps your whole project organized. It's like having an AI assistant with you at every single step. This is, and I don't say this lightly, a total game changer.
But hold on, Google isn't the only one making moves. In the exact same week, OpenAI just threw open the doors to Sora 2. If you have a ChatGPT Plus or Pro account, you can get in. No waitlist, no invite needed. And just like that, the race is on.
And this really just paints the perfect picture, doesn't it? What we're seeing here is a full-blown AI video arms race. You've got Google Flow on one side, trying to be this all-in-one studio, and on the other, you've got Sora 2, which has already proven itself as this absolute beast for making stunningly high-quality video. And you know what? When these giants go head-to-head, it's us, the creators, who really win.
But this leads us to a really important question. All this power, all this access, it's super exciting, right? But just because something is faster and easier, does that automatically make it better? The reality, as you can probably guess, is a little more complex than that.
And this is really where the rubber meets the road, where all this amazing innovation smacks into the real world. Because it's not just about the shiny new tech. It's about how we actually use it, especially when we're talking about things like education, creativity, and, safety. So there was this recent Project Tomorrow survey that gives us a pretty fascinating peek into how students are feeling about all this. And the big takeaway is they're not scared of AI, not at all. Actually, most of them want to see these tools in the classroom. But, and it's a big but, that excitement comes with some pretty serious concerns. Let's break that down a little. What do they want? Well, they want to use AI like a creative partner, to help them brainstorm, to get feedback on their work, to try out new ideas. What are they afraid of? The other side of that coin. Stuff like misinformation, being accused of cheating, and maybe losing that really important skill of putting all the pieces together themselves. They're basically saying, this is great, but we need some guardrails.
And those fears students have about safety, they're not just hypothetical. We just saw a really stark example of what happens in the real world. A huge AI platform, Character AI, just had to make a pretty drastic move that shows exactly how high the stakes have gotten.
So here's what went down, and it happened fast. A lawsuit popped up, alleging that minors were getting exposed to inappropriate stuff on the platform. The company's response? A total ban on all users under 18. Bam! Just like that. And this, of course, sent shockwaves through the whole industry. It forced a conversation that, frankly, was long overdue, about how we protect younger users on all these AI platforms, not just this one.
So you take all of this together, these unbelievable new creative tools on one hand, and these very real safety issues on the other, and it all funnels into this much bigger debate that's been bubbling up. And it really comes down to this question. Is all this AI stuff killing our creativity, or is it transforming it into something totally new? Okay, so you've got this mind-blowing innovation happening, but you've also got these legitimate concerns. So what are you supposed to do with all that? Well, let's get practical. Let's talk about your playbook for how to navigate all this, both thoughtfully and effectively.
I think we can boil it all down to 4 really clear, actionable steps. First, experiment now. Second, listen to students. Third, research with these new tools. And fourth, join the debate. It's that simple.
All right, step 1, and this is probably the most important. You've got to get your hands dirty. Seriously. With tools like Flow and Sora 2 becoming available, now's the time to jump in. Make a few little videos, see what happens, figure out the workflow. The people who get comfortable with this stuff early, they're going to have a huge advantage, a massive head start.
Step 2, listen to the students.
It's so important. Use AI for exactly the things they're asking for, as a brainstorming buddy, as a feedback tool, but, and this part is critical, you have to insist that the final product, the final work, comes from human synthesis and critical thinking. Remember, it's a co-pilot, not the pilot.
Okay, third, think about how you can use AI to supercharge your own research. Take a look at something like Perplexity's new patent search tool. It's free, and it lets you dig through millions of super complex patents just by asking a normal question in plain English. How cool is that? It's an incredible way to understand innovation or even teach students about things like intellectual property.
And last but not least, step 4. You need to figure out where you stand in that big creativity debate. Here's a viewpoint you might want to try on for size. Embrace AI as a tool that amplifies human creativity, not one that replaces it. Let the machine do the grunt work, the technical heavy lifting, so that you, the human, can focus on the important stuff, the vision, the story, the emotion.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the crucial point? It's this. The pace of change is not slowing down. Not a chance. The real trick is to move quickly, but to also move thoughtfully. You have to embrace the speed, but do it with your eyes open, with a real sense of responsibility.
And that, right there, that's the heart of it all. The creators and educators who are really going to thrive in this new world, they're not the ones who just jump on every new shiny object without thinking. And they're not the ones who stick their heads in the sand and reject it all either. No, the winners are going to be the ones who find that sweet spot, that balance between experimenting boldly and thinking critically about the impact, the ethics, and how to use this stuff responsibly.
Look, what's happening is we're being handed this incredible brand new toolkit for creativity. You can think of AI as the new co-pilot. It's there to help. But you're still the one flying the plane. So the only real question left is, are you ready to take the controls?